Hello friends, it's been a while. So this past weekend I did a BMWCCA HPDS, so this is High Performance Driving School event at Thunderhill West. I did both days. Heard a lot of good things about BMWCCA. This was my first time actually trying it myself. They run a very safe, very organized program, so I was actually really impressed at the end of the 2 days. I did the solo group, which basically means that I am driving with a data collection system and there's actually no instructor in the seat with me. Right. So this was, for me, was kind of a data coaching exercise. We did a lot of exercising actually on track outside of just driving and collecting data on our own with paired up partners. I ended up being partners with this race car. And we did a lot of passing in a lot of random areas where you normally might not, at apexes, so things that you would normally do in an open passing group. And then we also did an exercise driving around next to each other for the entire 3 laps. So that was also kind of interesting, not necessarily preparing you for racing, but just kind of being aware of what's next to you. Smelling the car next to you, hearing the car next to you if they're in your blind spot. So that was kind of interesting. The data aspect of it was also very useful. It kind of opens you up to possibilities of, okay, if I try to position the car a little bit further to the right on this lap, and then I, brake later or brake earlier, turn in the car earlier, later, etc. How does that impact my time for the lap, positively or negatively? So you are paired up with a data coach. You take your AIM solo. They provide everything, FYI. So if you don't have your own AIM solo cameras, Garmin Catalyst, etc., they provide you with an AIM solo without the camera. But that's enough, for a half-hour download after each session to review all the data that's on there. The instructors have their own laptops and just Wi-Fi all the data in, and it's really easy. But the data coaching was very helpful. It allows you to focus on certain laps or certain groupings of laps. It allows you to focus on certain corners or certain groupings of corners, and you can do A/B testing, like brake a little later, brake a little softer for a couple laps, and then see how that adds or detracts time from your lap based on your reference lap or based on your fastest lap. You get to nerd out on distance versus speed graphs, looking at the plots, looking at first, second derivatives. It also allows you to focus on specific exercises. Like, for example, if you carry more speed through a particular corner, it positions you toward a higher speed entering the next corner. So how do you make sure that you are consistently hitting the braking point to the next corner and maintaining a correct minimum speed going through that next corner? Because as you're coming out of, let's say, turn 3, going to turn 4, and you carried a lot more speed than you normally do through turn 3, you would need to brake either earlier or harder at turn 4. But your mind will be flashing red lights. Oh boy, we're going a little too fast than what I'm used to. So your tendency would be to overbrake at turn 4. And therefore your minimum speed might be a little bit lower than what you might have done on other laps. So it's a lot of interesting kind of isolation and pointers for you as a driver to look at variability of your laps, minimum speeds, for how long you carry a speed, and how important certain corners are to get right, because the distance to the next corner or the next braking point where you actually need to brake is a lot farther. So there are certain corners that are a lot more important on the track than others, even if variability might be, even 5 to 10 miles an hour. So I would highly recommend this program, even again, if you're not doing advanced coaching or even data coaching. They have instructors for every single student in every single car riding along with with them as passenger in the other groups. And then we also got to chase around with the instructors. So the instructors are actually in the solo group also, since they don't need to ride passenger. They get to drive their cars. And I had a lot of fun chasing around with the clown shoe with an S54 for a couple laps. So highly recommended program. I will try to do it again. They do it annually, I believe, around September, October timeframe. The first day, the first 2 sessions were actually wet. So that also kind of changes the dynamic of what you do in the car. I would say wet sessions are a lot more fun. You get to really learn the edges of grip, and they fall off very quickly. I had a lot of fun, so see you in the next one.